on to the NumPy. And first thing that we're going to learn is the definition of it. Now, before understanding the definition, I'll be quickly sharing you the steps to follow. Okay, first of all, let us understand the definition, then we'll move on to that. Okay. So first of all, let us understand what do you mean by NumPy. See, NumPy, or basically numerical Python, is one of the library. Now, why it is called as a library? Now, if I generally tell you something called as library, what will you think? You'll think something called as books, right? You'll think something called as shelves. There will be a book, and if you want to understand one particular topic, you'll go there and you'll search from the library, and you'll get that book, and you'll basically start reading, right? Now this is how the library works. Just like that, just like that, in Python also there is something called as library. That means if I want mathematical terms, okay, if I want mathematical calculation, then I'll be using something called as NumPy. Okay, let's say this is NumPy is a book. Okay, from this mathematical library, we have a book called as NumPy, where someone has written every single code that you are supposed to get the output. For example, if you want addition, okay, or if you want, let's say, sum, someone has already written the code for you. Okay, someone has already written the code for you. You're just using the keywords. For example, sum is there. You're just using the sum. If you use the sum, whatever is inside that particular, let's say, list or array, that value you're able to get. And in the sense, the sum you're able to get. You're not supposed to do any calculation. Just by using that math operator or just by using the NumPy operator, you are able to do mathematical terms or mathematical problems. Now, this is how the NumPy is very much important. Now, why exactly it is important with when we compare to, when we talk about data science? See, in data science, basically every single term is analysis, right? So whenever we are doing analysis, mathematics is very, very important. Yes or no? So mathematical terms, when we are talking about, NumPy is the first library that we are first of all, we are supposed to understand so that we can understand the basics first. Then we can move on to the pandas, that is the advanced level of NumPy. Okay, so let us begin. First of all, NumPy stands for numerical Python. I told you this is a library and it is generally used for numerical, to get the mathematical terms. NumPy is a Python library used for working with arrays. Now, arrays is one topic that we have not learned, right? I did not tell you how to convert a one particular list into an array. And today's class, I'll let you know how to do it. And what do you mean by an array? Array is a collection of objects. Now, whatever these fancy words are there, don't worry about this. We'll get back to this later on. But once we have understood how to convert a list into an array, then only we can understand these statements. Okay. So first thing that you're going to do is we are understanding the steps. Steps to import NumPy and to use it. Okay. Now, these are the steps you are supposed to use. First thing, or the first step you are supposed to do is kindly write this: import the NumPy library. Now, what is the meaning of this? Import NumPy library. So I told you just now, numerical Python or NumPy is a library, and you are supposed to get that library from the Python. Now, Python, let's say Python is a store. Okay, Python is a store, or Python is a room, and from that room you are supposed to get one particular topic, that is NumPy. So, how to get that? To get that, you are supposed to write a particular keyword, that is import, and you are supposed to mention the library name, that is NumPy. And if you run it, you are able to see now we are basically importing the NumPy. But every time you are using any terms with regarding to NumPy, every time you are supposed to call it. Okay, for example, you are supposed to call NumPy every time you are supposed to do anything. For example, NumPy.sum, something like that. Okay, but can we keep on writing NumPy again? No. So let us do one thing. Let us put a very short nickname for NumPy. Okay, that nickname can be mentioned as NP. Okay, so this is how you're supposed to do. First of all, you're importing NumPy and you are giving a nickname called as NP. So whenever you're supposed to use NumPy, now we can make use of NP rather than using NumPy wholly. Okay, I think the first step is very much clear. Let's move to the second step, that is step number 2. Step number 2 says that we are supposed to convert a list into a array. Now, why exactly we are converting a list into an array? Let us understand. I'll give you one simple question where you are supposed to find me the what is that? Okay, I'll write the question first. Example 1. Add +1 to each list elements. Okay. So let's say x is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you are supposed to do something. Okay. You are supposed to write one particular code so that you are getting the output like this. That is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the sense, each list element should be added by 1. Okay. 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3. Basically, it will move on to 6. I mean, 5 plus 1, that is 6. Now, this is the output you are supposed to get. So, can you tell me how we can do it? Can I just write x plus 1 here? I mean, x is a variable name and we have mentioned x plus 1. Does it work? Can anyone just check and let me know whether it is working or not? Okay, everyone is saying no. Let's run it. Can you see? It is not able to do it because this x, what is the data type of x? Can anyone tell me what is the data type of x? No, no, no. What is the data type? What is this? It is a list data type, right? So list data type, and what is the data type of 1? What is the data type of 1? It is an int data type, right? So whether int data type and list data can be merged or can be concatenated? No. So that is the reason we are getting this type error. So what you're supposed to do is you are supposed to do something so that the both variables or both data types are same. So to do that, one method is to use a for loop. Okay, we can make use of a for loop where for I in x. So if you mention for I in x, what happens is the initial value of I will be 1. Okay, and it will check whether the 1 is there in the x or not. If it is there, then we can update the value. That is, we can mention I is equal to I plus 1. Okay, then you can yeah, I is equal to I plus 1 and we can print the value of I. So if I run it, can you see we are able to get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this is the output I required. But can you see how many I mean, we are using a for loop, we are using a condition, then we are printing it. But instead of doing this, can we make use of the numpy? Simple. Let us understand how to do it. So the first thing that you're going to do is you are importing the numpy. Import numpy as NP. Now, I told you the step number 2 is to convert the list into an array. Now, how to convert it? To convert, basically, you are supposed to use, I mean, let's say we have a list called as x and the x value is 1, 2, 3. First thing that you're going to do is you are writing a variable called as ARR. Okay. I mean, obviously any variable is fine, but let's take the variable name as ARR and we are calling the numpy now. Now, can I just mention NP, right? Because we are using a nickname of it, or it is called as alias name. I'm just talking about nickname. It is not called as actual nickname. It is called as alias name, ALIAS. Okay. So NP dot array function, and inside the bracket, you are mentioning the list that is X. Then you are supposed to print the value of array. Now, if you run it, basically you can see the same output, right? X is equal to 1, 2, 3, and here also X is equal to 1, 2, 3, and basically it is closed in the square brackets. Now, what is the actual difference? What is the actual difference between a list and an array? I'll quickly show you. Please make sure you are understanding this in the first go. I'll print X here, okay, which is not converted into array. And this array, obviously, it is converted into an array. Now, see the difference between this X and, or basically, X is nothing but list and the array. Okay, see the difference between a list and an array. Can you see? Can anyone spot the difference between a list and an array? So, in a list, everything is separated by a comma, right? Everything is separated, or each value is been separated by a comma. But in an array, there is no separation value, or the separation value is nothing but a space. Okay, so anything that is separated by a comma, then we can consider it as a list. But if it is not there, any separation value is not there, then it is considered as an array. Now, same thing, we are supposed to do it here. That is, array is equal to, what is supposed to do? NP dot array function. and you are providing the X value inside it. Now what happened? Now it is converted into an array, and we can print the value of array. Now it shouldn't have any commas. That means it has been converted into an array. Now can I use ARR plus 1? How many of you think this will work? How many of you think this will work? Does it work? Okay, let's see. Can you see? It is giving me the correct output. That is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why? Because this array and this plus 1, it is considered as both are considered as a equal data type or same data type. So that is the reason it is able to add that particular plus 1 inside an array. Now, if the question was like this, example number 2, mathematical operations using NumPy. Okay, and let me give the values. X is equal to some random values, 1, 6, 9, 5. Okay, now the question is find let's say a reminder. Find a reminder of each value when it is divided by 2. Now, can you tell me what I'm supposed to do first of all? What is the first step? The first step is to import the NumPy library. Okay, so to import the NumPy library, you are writing import NumPy as NP. Correct? After that, you are supposed to convert a list into an array. So to convert a list into an array, we are calling a variable called as ARR. Then we are calling the NumPy. We are calling the function array, and we are basically putting X inside it, or basically a list value inside it. After that, we are printing print function, and we are calling the array. Now this array value should be divided by 2, and basically we are supposed to find the reminder. To find the reminder, there is one particular operator. Can you tell me what is that operator? Exactly, it is a modulus operator, right? Mod. So ARR divided by mod 2, and this is where we are supposed to get the reminder. So run it. Can you see? First one is 1. Basically, if I divide 1 by 2, you're able to get the reminder as 1. Next one is 0, because 6 divided by 2 is 3. Next is 1, because 9 divided by 2 is 2 ones are 2, 4s are, and 1 is remaining. Same thing happens for 5. Now, if I add one more even number, let's say 8, you can see it is 0 once again. Right? Now, these are the mathematical terms that we are going to learn. Now, if the question was find let's say square of each array elements, can you tell me what I'm supposed to do? Find a square. Exactly. So we are writing one more array, that is AR. Sorry, we don't have to do it. We can directly print and ARR double asterisk, and we can mention 2. Right? So if I run it, you can see 136, that is 6 square, 9 square, 5 square, and 8 square. Or you can mention, yeah, that also we can mention. Rohan, very good. Yes, I hope everyone is able to understand what we are trying to do here. Basically, if we have an array, and if I want to do any mathematical terms, right? Any mathematical terms, that first thing that what you're going to do is we are calling an NumPy library. Then you're converting a list into an array, and we are basically mentioning whatever mathematical terms we want inside an array. Now comes a very important part. Okay, so if I provide you this particular value, so let me just copy and paste it. Okay, so you can see converting a list into an array without declaring the list. Okay, first of all, just wait for a second. Okay, so what you have learned? We have learned that first of all, we have to mention the list, that is X is equal to list value, that is 1, 2, 3. Then that what is that list values or list array is there, that value has to be inside the array like this, right? But instead, if I want to declare the list directly, okay, if I want to declare the list directly, that means whatever this value is there, You don't have to put it inside a variable. You can directly mention the list inside this particular function, that is array. Okay. So what happens? This 1, 2, 3 automatically it will be, or basically directly it will be converted into an array. Same thing happens here also. Okay. So if I mention, let's say we have 4 and 5 also here, and also let us write here 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. First of all, let us see whether it is converted into an array or not. So let me print array 1. Okay, it has been converted because, okay, it is been converted, but how can I surely say that it has been converted into an array? How can I exactly? There is no comma, right? Comma is missing. So that is the reason we can say surely that, okay, it has been converted into an array. What about array 2? Let's check. Yes, it has been converted into an array because there is no comma. Perfect. Now, the question is, you are supposed to find maximum. You are supposed to find a maximum value out of array 1. Okay. You are supposed to find the maximum value out of array 1. Okay. Everyone saying dot max function we are supposed to, but where I'm supposed to use it? Can I use it like this? Array 1 dot max function. Is it right? Array 1 dot max function. Let's see. Okay. Print function you're saying. Even though you are not mentioning the print function, you are able to get the output if it is correct. Yes. Can you see? We are getting the array and we are making use of the max function to get the output, that is 5. Now, if I had the same question, there are multiple methods to do this. Now, this is one of the method, and there is one more method where you can use the print function and you can use np.max and you can mention array 1 inside it. Now, these are the two methods that you are going to learn. Okay. Now, array 1 dot max also you can use, or we can use, we are calling the numpy, you're calling the max function, and inside that you're providing the array, that is array 1. Okay. We'll do the same thing for minimum now. Yes. What is the same a simple change that we are supposed to do? Just change that to min. That's it. Right? Here min, and here also it is min. Let's run it. Can you see we are getting the value as, okay, I'm sorry, it is not array 1, it is array 2. Let's say array 2. Here also array 2. So we are supposed to get 6. Yes, perfect. So from this array, we are able to get the minimum value, that is 6. Now let's say I want to find the average value. I want to find average value out of the array 1. Can anyone tell me what I'm supposed to do? Exactly. It is a mean function. Open and close bracket. Can you see we are able to get 3.0. Here also we can use np.mean function to get the output of 3.0. Okay. So basically we have understood how to convert into an array. Perfect. And then we have, we have understood how to convert into an array without declaring the list. That is array 1 and array 2. Then we have found out how to find the maximum value, how to find the minimum value, and how to find the average value. Is there any doubts regarding these problems? Is there any doubts regarding these problems? No. Let's move on to the next question. Yes. Example number 4, find the dimension of the array. Now, what do you mean by dimension? Okay, first thing that I'm going to ask is, what dimension are we living in? What dimension are we living in? 3D, right? So what do you mean by 3D? 3D dimension means we are able, okay, first of all, what do you mean by 0 dimension? Okay, what do you mean by 0 dimension? 0 dimension is something but you are at a point and you cannot move forward, you cannot move backward, you cannot move right, you cannot move left, you cannot move up, you cannot move down. But what about 1 dimension? 1 dimension in the sense either you can go front or either you can go straight and you can go backwards. It is basically a line. What about 2D? What about 2D? 2D is nothing but you can go front, you can go back, you can go right, you can go left. Yes or no? Front and back, right and left. Now this is the 2 dimension. Now what about a 3D? You can go front, you can go back, you can go right, you can go left, and you can go up, you can go down. Now these is called as a 3D. Now if you imagine our life is like that only. We can go up, you can go down, you can go left, right, front, and back. Now why I'm telling you this, because if you are, if it is closing, with the help of one single bracket. Okay, if a list or an array, obviously we are converting this into an array. So once it is being converted into array, how many brackets it has? It has one bracket open, one bracket close, right? So whenever it is having one bracket open and one bracket close, that is the meaning of one dimension array. Very, very simple, right? So if I print the array, you can see it has been converted into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, how to check whether this is one dimension or not? How to check whether this is one dimension or not? To check whether if it is one dimension or not, we are supposed to use something called as ndim. Okay, ndim means nothing but n dimensional. Okay, n dimensional is one of the function that helps you to find the dimension of the particular array. So if I run it, you can see I'm able to get 1. So we are not using import statement here. Why? Because if you use once, okay, in one particular session, now for example, if you have opened Chrome and if you have opened the Collaborate and if you have connected it, and once in that one particular session, if you have mentioned this import numpy as np, and if you have run it, okay, now this np will be stored throughout your process or throughout your session. So you don't have to again and again, you don't have to write it. Just whenever you're opening the Collaboratory, I mean, let's say you have closed the laptop and now you're opening it. Now you're opening the Chrome once again. Let's say tomorrow you're opening. So whenever you're opening tomorrow, the session will be gone, right? The cookies will be deleted. So that is the reason you are writing import numpy as np once again. But once you're writing it, you can make use of this np anytime you want. You don't have to import it again and again. Okay. Yes. Now, we have understood how to get the one dimension. Now, let's say I want to create a two-dimensional array. Okay. Example number 5. I'm supposed to create two-dimensional array. How can I do this? I just now told you. If it is opened by one bracket and closed by one bracket, then it is considered as one dimensional. So what I'm supposed to do so that I'm getting 2D array? Exactly. It should be two brackets open and two brackets close. Yes or no? So let us see whether we are able to do it. X is equal to, let me mention two brackets now, and inside the values, inside the brackets, let me provide some values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll convert this into an array, np dot array of x, and we'll print the value of arr. And if I run it, okay, we are getting the output. And if I want to find the dimension, we are using ndim to get the value as 2. Now, what is the importance of this? Okay, what is the importance of this? The importance of 2D array is understanding the Excel. In Excel, or basically Google Sheets, I'll quickly show you. Now, 2D array is very, very important, okay? 2D array is very, very important. So I'll quickly open it. Okay. So why I have opened the Excel? Because whatever we have learned just now, that is 1D array. Let me just show you quickly. Yes. Whatever we have learned here, this 1D array, can you see how many? Okay. If I put it inside the Excel, can you tell me how many rows it might be having? If I put this value inside the Excel, can you tell me how many rows it might be having? One row? Yes or no? It will be having one row. Yes or no? So if I put that value here, it will be basically like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right? Now, 2D array means it will be having more than one row. Okay, it will be having a 1D array is nothing but it will be having multiple columns, but it will be having only one row. But whenever it is 2D, that means it will be having multiple columns and it will be having multiple rows. For example, if I want to find the value like this, if I want to enter the value like this: 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, if I want to put this inside the Python or inside the NumPy, how can I do this? That can be done with the help of this. Already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is there, right? So you are giving a comma after the bracket closure, coming to the next line, and you're opening one more bracket here. Okay, and you are providing 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now what happened? This is the first row, and this can be mentioned as the second row. And how many columns we have? We have 5 columns. If you provide one more value, that means it is wrong. Okay, this is considered as wrong because number of columns and number of rows, number of columns should be matched with the previous row. Okay, otherwise it will throw you an error. So if I run it, it is again giving you the value as 2, correct? And if I put that, if you see this, this is how it basically looks. Okay, so this is how you create a 2D array. Now there is something called as 3D array. There is something called as 3D array, but as of now I don't want to teach you because 3D array doesn't make any sense as of now for us to understand. Now even if you are curious to create more than 2D array, that is how you can do it. Okay, just you can see the steps to create multi-dimensional arrays. What you're supposed to do is create the outermost array, that is one bracket open, one bracket close. Step 2 is to create the inner arrays that we have done just now, that is pink brackets. You can see yellow brackets are the main ones, pink brackets are the middle, what is that, list inside the list, that is considered as the 2D array. And if there is a bracket inside that pink bracket, then it is considered as a 3D array. Okay, now what happens if I move on, keep on doing this? We can get 4D array, 5D array, 6D array, right? We are able to do that, but it doesn't make any sense to get so many dimensions array. We are able to understand 1D array and 2D array as of now. So that is the reason we are using only 1 and 2. So if you see this, it has only 2D array now. It has only 2 dimension. Always we are using 2 dimensions in the Excel. Is there anything called as 3 dimensions in the Excel? Is there anything called as 3-dimensional Excel? No. So that is the reason we are using 2-dimensional itself in the Python also. Okay. So let us begin. Let me just quickly make you understand. Okay. It's already time. I'll give you one task. Okay. First of all, let me just create 2D array and let's say display first row. Can anyone tell me if I want to display the first row? If I just print it, you can see I'm able to get both the rows now. I don't want to print both the rows. I just want to print the first row. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What I'm supposed to do so that we are able to print only the first row? What I'm supposed to do so that we are able to get only the first row? Exactly, Swati. Very good. So we are supposed to open a square bracket. Now, what do you mean by square bracket? We are accessing a value, right? Now, this particular 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is sitting in the 0th row, right? It is present in the 0th index. So we are providing the value 0. So if I run it, can you see we are able to get only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Now, what if my question was display the second row? Display the second row. Exactly. It is array of 1. So you are able to see we are getting only the second row. Now what if I want let's say first column 1 and 6 I want. I want 1 and 6. What I'm supposed to do when I'm supposed to get 1 and 6? See, understand this. Whenever you're giving a square bracket, that means first value you are giving the rows. Okay. Then you are providing a comma. Now we are giving the columns. Okay. So how many rows I want here? How many rows I want? I want both the rows, right? I want both the rows. So mention 0. Okay. If you just mention blank, what will happen is it will automatically take the both the values. Okay. Otherwise, what you can do is you can start from 0 and you can go till 2. Can you tell me why I have mentioned 2, even though second row is not there? Yes, exactly. It is n minus 1. Okay. And give a comma. Now, which column I want? Which column I want? I want the 0th column. It is not first column. It is the 0th column, right? It starts from 0. So we are providing 0 here. Okay. And run it. Then you see we are only getting 1 and 6. Now, what if I just remove this 0 colon 2? What if I remove this 0 colon 2 and just mention colon? Just mention a colon. What happens? See, if I just mention colon, automatically it will start from the beginning and it will move to the last. That means it will start from the first row and it will move to the last row, that is the second row. So if I'm able to get the same output, okay. So if the question was find the values from the first column or the second column, I mean all the values, you can just provide the colon. That means every single row, and you are accessing a one particular column. Okay. So that's it for today's class. If you have any kinds of doubt, kindly stay back in the meeting.